Hey guys, how are you doing? And welcome to another income report video. This is for May 2022. This is for all of you who want to know how much I spend on ads, what my royalties are, what my expenses are, and also I tend to compare the current month with the month in the previous year and also the previous month and stuff like that. And so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then stick around and I hope you enjoy this video. So how was May? Let me know how your May was in the comments. Mine was pretty good. I did actually have one very high day, which was a bulk order day for one particular book. So I'll go into details of that in a moment. As far as creation wise, I spent most of the month trying to finish this one book that I'd started a while ago. And then I went away on holiday vacation with my family for a week. So that was right at the end of May. So I ended up not finishing it and not publishing it, and I still haven't published it. So I am going to be doing that this month. And while May was definitely good, it was less than the May in 2021. Some of you might remember me talking about that. May last year was one of my highest months ever. That was all down to this one book that made $1,800 in the month overall. And in one particular day, I made $1,400. It wasn't all for one book, but it was most of it was for one book. I knew that wasn't going to happen again because I haven't really sold that much of that book. I think it was just a strange one-off thing. But like I said, I have had one high day this month, but not as much as the May in 2021. And also, it was for one of my best-selling books, so it wasn't a sort of surprise. It wasn't a random book that sold out of the blue. It was one that sells usually the most every month. As usual, I will be showing how much I spend on ads. I think that's important to mention, so I will talk about that a little bit later. So this is my May income for 2022. I made $6,454 in royalties. So my highest day was $1,020, and then my lowest day was 117. My second highest day was 287. I do get the odd, situation like this where I made $1,000 in a day, but that was mainly this was from one book. So, and that was my best-selling book. So sometimes throughout the year, I do get bulk orders for that book and some of the other books in that niche. So by contrast, this was May in 2021, so I made over $7,700, one of my highest months that I've ever had, and I made $1,400 in a day, which I think is the most that I've ever made in a day. And that was mainly for one book again, but it was a book that I don't normally sell that much of. But my lowest day was $98, so it's much more up and down, and I seem to see that much more from previous years in comparison to this year. I'm interested to see how June, July, and August go because those are my lowest months usually in the year. So I'm kind of preparing myself for that and to kind of expect that. And that's going to be the same for a lot of people. A lot of people will have lower months in June, July, and August. I think some people might have a lot more in August if they have back to school books and things like that. If you have a lot of summer activity books, if you've got back to school type composition books and things like that, then I guess you could those could be some of your highest months of the year, but that's just typically not the case for me. So were there any surprises this month? Well, I don't want to disappoint you, but not really, no. There's obviously that one book that sold, that was amazing, and I guess that was a surprise on that day. I remember it happened really suddenly, but it was the best-selling book, so there wasn't a surprise in that sense. Aside from that, I was a bit slack with checking my ads this month. I was okay at the beginning, and then I got distracted. I went away at the end of the month, and then I literally stopped looking at my ads for about a week or so, and I haven't got quite back into looking at them either, so I really need to get back onto that. In general, May was a really good month, obviously, as far as royalties go, but there wasn't anything particularly different that happened. There weren't any new books that were selling or anything like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just hop onto my blog and show you what the ad spend is for this month. Okay, so here I am just on my blog, and you can go and check this out if you like afterwards, because I do put a little bit more detail into the blog that I don't necessarily share on the video, so you might want to check it out. Anyway, let's go into it. So in Canada, I spent around 49 Canadian dollars, and the ACOS was 36%, which is definitely not good. A few things just became unprofitable in that month, and I wasn't optimizing it, so I didn't kind of notice, and that happened. So and that's one thing I need to go back on, because now the ACOS is actually at 50% for June. And that's after I left it, for a week when I went away, wasn't really paying attention. Luckily, I don't have many ads running here, so it was only a small amount of loss. Then in the USA, I spent $62 and the ACOS was 20%. So that's fine. I'd like it to be a bit lower than that, but that's still fine overall. And in the UK, I spent £112 and the ACOS was 24%. Again, it's okay, but I'd like it to be a bit lower. I think that's around break even just for me. So I definitely need to go back and have a look at some of the ads this month. Some of them haven't been working that well in June, I have to say. The ones that were really profitable have suddenly gone off. So, that happens. Unfortunately, you do need to check. Sometimes you'll get a competitor coming in and their book starts outranking yours, or they outbid you, and their book actually might convert to more sales than yours do. So Amazon's obviously going to give them the ad space. There's no point running an ad that's going to be at a major loss. I don't mind a small loss if I think it's going to give me more visibility. Then I'd rather have the book there at a small loss than not have it at all, because as long as I'm getting organic sales. I mean, obviously, if I'm not getting any organic sales or next to none, and I'm running at a loss, then there's a 0 point in carrying on with that ad. In total, then I spent around $243 in ads. So that's just after I've turned the Canadian and the pounds into dollars, and it's around $243 rounded up. So I had that $243, but I have to add 20% VAT onto that because I am in the UK. We get charged VAT on our ads, and many other countries do as well, I believe. So you might find that happens. I, in total, will have to pay $292 towards my ads this month. The only other expenses I have are my tools, and they're around $100 a month. The tools that I use are linked to in the description, and they're also on my blog under the tools tab. So that's $6,062 royalties in profit overall that I take away. But of course, I do then pay my normal taxes and everything, so I do have to put a large chunk away for that. But I'm very pleased with that result. So thanks very much for watching. That's about all for today, and I really hope you found this video useful. Do let me know if you have any comments or questions, and I will speak to you again very soon.